It's a new soccer model. This is how we're going to save development in our country. This is how we're going to advance the women's game through our development of our youth, which we found a new way to teach the game in such a way that we can manufacture the ability to be technical. It's another scheme, another scam. As usual, we have problems, and the girls' game is horrible. What are you talking about, Coach Cameron? We won the World Cup 2 times in a row. Yeah, against who? We didn't win against the world. As soon as the world offers freedom to all the young girls across the world to be able to play the game, and they fund it appropriately, then it's a world game. It's not a world game. It's regional. So our women's team won the regional championships twice. It was amazing. Loved it. There is competition there regionally, but it's not a World Cup. We have problems. Our girls are reckless. They're out of control. It's a car wreck, and it's nasty. So the technical ones can't be technical. They can't combine. They can't develop their game that way because it's out of control. And we have a new model. So the Soccer Wire reports, I wonder what the players think. Girls Academy tries a new youth soccer model because there's always some person behind the scenes figuring out how they're going to change the game and save the development of the girls' game in this country. I haven't seen it. Izzy Smith was on a video call earlier this summer when she noticed there was something different about her new soccer league, the Girls Academy. During the first meeting of player representatives from the Southeast Conference, they were given the task of writing a letter to a player from the other 6 conferences. For perhaps the first time she could remember, there were no adults on the call. It just gave us confidence, said Smith, a midfielder on the 04 squad from Tofat in Atlanta. They trusted us to do this on our own. That is amazing. And then a tweet from the Girls Academy introducing Isabel Smith from the Southeast Conference of Tofat Soccer. This outgoing GA advisory panel rep values unity to help improve the players in the league to be the best. And this is what we learn in college, by the way. This is what we teach at the university system. We teach how to put committees together and subcommittees, and I always talk about this all the time because I get annoyed. Let me give you an example. I work in college. I was in a committee, and there's like 25 people in the committee, and we had a situation where we had a demographic in our community that was underserved, totally underserved, and needed help, but the government wasn't providing. And I'm trying to limit the details so I don't get in trouble because I don't want some committee putting a subcommittee together to decide how to get rid of me for speaking my mind on my podcast. So I have to be careful because there's too many Karens out there. There's too many nut jobs that want to cancel you. So I got to be careful. So we're talking about this, and I'm sitting, the only one with, I think, logic of let's do something and help this poor group out and give them the service that they need to survive this world. So I'm listening to all these things, and they said the subcommittee. They talked to somebody. I'm trying to avoid names here. Said so and so. Please report back. How'd your subcommittee do? Well, our subcommittee did get together, and by the way, they meet once a month. We got together and we really put together our heads to find a good time that we can actually meet that collectively worked for everyone and collectively worked with their individual situations. And I'm limiting the scope of wording here, as already stated. But So it took them a month to organize a time they can meet so they can meet the following month. While this segment of our community that we're trying to serve can't be served because our subgroup, our super committee reported that they can now meet because they made sure it was diverse enough for everyone to meet. And it was fair. And it's all about fairness and inclusiveness and, all these trigger words they use. If you don't use them, they'll be triggered. Yeah. And I'm just listening to this nonsense and everyone's coming up with a different. Why don't we put a table together to make them have a safe place to express themselves? And I'm just like, I'm losing my mind. But this is how these people are taught. These people. Yes, these people. You know what's the one thing, what's inclusive is bringing a libertarian, conservative-minded human being into the discussion so you can hear another way of doing things. Because let's be honest about it. There's two sides of the world going on. We got the one side that like manufacturers, everything's going to be hunky-dory if you vote this way, and we'll get free education, free everything. We'll get this and this, and you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. And then there's another side that actually thinks logically about who's going to pay for that? That's not going to work, and we're going to become California throughout the whole United States. I've totally went nuts just now, but it's deserved to be nuts in this time and age because one side thinks the other side's nuts and vice versa. So I might be wrong. Maybe I'm the nutty one. I am nuts, but nothing got done. So I spoke up. I said, how about we raise money for this this group that needs help? And I agreed they needed help because they had like lost hope. And I care for this community. And so I offered a fundraiser I was planning on doing, and I was going to give it to them. And they all got excited. They agreed. Like, this sounds awesome. And it was so simple for me to think that way, but it wasn't for them, which is interesting to think about. Anyways, I get annoyed easily, but I get annoyed when we're talking about advisory panels and in a place. That's what, leaders do. They just like shut people up. Oh, well, just let's put a subcommittee. You guys can talk about it and come back to me. Oh, yeah, you're fighting with the brother. Okay, go in the room and you guys can just talk a little bit, then we'll have a conversation. So they can just kind of feel like they feel safe or whatever, or can get through their problems. I don't know. I totally went sideways, but back to the article. Only a few months earlier, a very different video call took place between directors and coaches of clubs that would form the Girls Academy. They were dealing with the wreckage of U.S. Soccer's decision to shutter the Development Academy, which was smart, which left most of the clubs on the call without a league to play in going forward. What do you mean you don't have a league to play in? You live in a state, right? You live in a segment of the United States, and you can play team. Go play them. Oh, we can't play them. They're beneath us. They don't have the licensing to compete with us. We can't be around you. We must fly to another state where they have the proper licensing. That's what it is. Reading on. Listening in Oakwood SC, Coach Tiffany Weimer, just a year removed from a 14-year playing career, felt there were some voices missing. I wonder what the players think. She thought, I wonder how they felt. Because they probably know what to do. Aided by Ashley Fontes Comer and Jen Lolor, Weimer quickly helped to put together a survey that formed the basis of a new concept in youth soccer, a leadership panel for the athletes, not the parents or coaches, to voice their ideas and opinions directly to the league's board of directors. I'm curious what they thought. Let's see. A lot of times when we were talking about youth sports, adults just assume that they know how players are feeling, what players want. Weimer says, I just think those days should be over. The feedback from the players was clear. They understood the problems that had plagued their own experiences they were just waiting for somebody to listen. I wonder what these knowledgeable young kids know. What do they know? I hope they said, every time I get the ball, when I trap it, it bounces like 10 feet off my foot, and then there's a car wreck. I don't like blowing my ACL out. But you know what we tell these poor young ladies? It's because it's the way your body's shaped and all that. That is not true. I mean, partially true because of science, right? If they played more thoughtful and less reckless, we would have less stupid ACL tears. That's a fact. That's science according to me. Reading on, the feedback from the players was clear that they understood the problems that had been plaguing their own experiences. They just wanted someone to listen. I'm sorry, I repeated. We know what we think is best for us, and I think a lot of times what we needed sort of got a mix in with the emotions and politics of leaders, Smith said. Okay, not too far off. There's a lot of politics involved. It's destroying the game. From the time the DA formed in 2017, top-level girls across soccer across the nation was a powdered keg waiting to explode. Battling lines were drawn with the establishment top league. The ECNL clubs and top players were forced to choose between platforms. Players were met with uncomfortable new rules, most notably a mandate that the federation banning players who participated in the DA from competing in their high schools. Yeah, I agree that is stupid. Strict substitution laws also become a burden. Yes, that was huge problem with DA because you had kids that would be part of DA, play 20 minutes on the weekend, and then they couldn't play. Why their friends are playing high school, getting complete games during the week, and they couldn't play on the weekend. And at least they're safe from tearing their ACLs, I guess. In April, Lone Star Soccer Club director Brian Monahan, told the Austin American Statesman that the DA clubs had reached a consensus to change both of those rules prior to the league folding. Loosening both restrictions became guiding principles in the formation of the GA. However, some of what the DA brought to the girls' games survived, including coaching education, licensing requirements, as well as focusing on the training environment at each club. Of course, because you got to have licensing. We got to keep teaching our coaches the same stuff so they keep developing our kids in such a way that is manufacturing the same kids over and over and over again, which is not good. Where's our Martas? How do we not have a Marta? How? Who developed Marta? The streets of Brazil playing against guys. Next, when the DA launched, there was several great concepts or ideas that the U.S. Soccer had, said GA President Wes Shavers, Girls Academy Director at Lone Star Soccer Club in Austin, Texas. The one that probably highlighted the best was the club standards. Got to have standards. I think that's something that will not go away and is something we'll continue with the Girls Academy. For everyone in youth soccer, late spring was a time of confusion. ECNL was expanding to include former DA clubs, while leaving others, including Tofat, the number one ranked club in the Soccer Wire Top 100, to fend for themselves. Other top academies include the LA Galaxy and San Jose Earthquake shut down their girls programs. People were freaking out, said Elise Evans, a Stanford commit who landed with most of her Earthquake teammates at Upstart FC Bay Area. There was clubs around us trying to take players. There was just a lot of back and forth. It's definitely mellowed out now. Everyone has realized the place they want to be. I think it's mellowed out because we're in the COVID. Reading on, when the dust settled, there were 69 clubs committed to GA for 2020-21, representing about 7,000 players across 7 conferences that cover similar footprint to that former DA. And why is it that we feel we have to be national? Everything has to be national. You got to be playing a league that's national. Why not just be in your area? And if your area is not big enough, you live like in Montana and you have a good team, then yeah, you're probably going to have to go a little more regionally throughout the country, expanding nationally, but I just don't understand it. You're telling me In Phoenix, Arizona, we got 7-8 million in Phoenix alone, and we're having to fly to Texas and get games. I get to do that for some tournaments and stuff, but how about just beat everyone here? Oh, we're just too good for that, and they don't have the licensing. Per the usual, as we have any discussion, it's always that same thing. They're beneath you. You don't want to play them because if they do beat you, they'll recruit your kids and stuff like that. It is a problem. Reading on top to bottom, the ECNL pool is stronger and deeper, but those inside the GA feel they have a platform and a vision to build on. Looking forward, each member of the GA executive board has a link to a member club, and there's Fontes Comer, whose fingerprints are all over the league's early existence, the former player of Florida State and NWSL executive with the Washington Spirit, and now CEO of her own management firm and vice president of the U.S. coaches, was tagged to help to guide the launch. With thousands of families and coaches yearning for answers to the midst of the global pandemic, there wasn't a lot of time to waste. Most of the time, there was some silver lining in things, Fontes Comer said. What I've been pitching from the beginning is that from the demise, there's a rise, and that's the GA. That's what you need. That's a clever little slogan there. If we get the right voices in here and collaborate, then we can really take this opportunity to make a change. Not just it's going to be the top platform for girls. No. The whole athlete, and the person, as we start laying things down like anything new, you have to build trust. Trust gets built through words and your actions. The steps that we've taken have definitely created a bit of trust and credibility to us internally with those clubs and then externally. I disagree. I think it's with your actions. Screw words. Just get the job done. That's all I want. I want solutions. Isn't that all we want? Oh, but he said the right words and made me feel good. Oh, okay. Good job. I just want it done. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care how bad you make me feel. I can't sleep at night. I want actions. I want things taken care of. I want development. I want to learn to do things so I can actually trap the ball and deal with one-on-one pressure for a lifetime. So I actually love the game. But that's not going to be the case. One of those early steps was to lure Leslie Gallimore, who retired last year after 26 seasons leading the University of Washington, to become the league's commissioner. Gallimore served the USC board of directors with Fontes Comer, and her former associate head coach and best friend Amy Griffin is on the GA executive board as technical director at the OL Reign Academy. I'm not a fan of this lady because I support Seattle U, where my daughter played. I prefer Seattle U to dominate. And it was good timing for her to get out. Geez, smart. Because that COVID is destroying UW and Seattle U and everybody. It's destroying. I mean, I'm curious what's going to happen there with everything going down with their finances. But that's another story. Gallimore said she bought into the vision and felt she could have an impact in changing the culture at the youth level. She acknowledged the uphill battle that GA will face in 1 year as it strives to put itself on an equal footing with the ECNL. To think that that's going to happen overnight is a joke. She said, if there's people that don't trust the process, don't trust us or me as a leader to work really hard to make that happen, and they jump ship or go to the next shiny thing because of that day or in that year, it seems better to them where they are. I won't be able to stop it or stop that. I don't think that there's enough people that believe in what we're doing and how we're doing it and doing it that will stick around long enough to help us be successful. Okay, so going back to Leslie Gallimore. So Leslie Gallimore, 26 years she's been in the university game, recruiting. She should not be the leader. She knows nothing about development. Who has she developed? And I don't know enough about her, but she's a college recruiter. I'm sure she has her A license. She knows how to run a tactical system. Yay, good job. What's that have to do with development? You're the end goal. You don't know that the intrinsic value of actually formulating players from 3 years old to 17. You don't deal with that. You recruit high school age girls. That's what you do. I don't see how you could do anything other than you can organize a program, which you've done very well. What's that have to do with development? Nothing. Let's move down by player for players. Initially, GA leaders were hoping their creation of the Girls Academy Advisory Panel, a product of the initial player feedback survey, will help the leagues differentiate themselves. It's a slap on the wrist to us for the traditionally not being more responsible adults and look beyond our own vision for what we want to do. Fontes Comer said, these players, they have a voice. It's just the fact that they have not been given the opportunity. What seems to be resonating is that they are appreciative of the opportunity. From my perspective, we talk as a society for at least the last decade now. It's like, oh, we're lacking women leaders, we're lacking women coaches, but where's the pipeline? Are we actually doing anything to build that? So what are they doing? So they're trying to develop leaders versus how I wish they would come out and say, you know what? Why aren't we technical like the boys? Why is that? Why aren't we technical? Why aren't we technical like Marta's? Why do the Brazilians, why can they produce more talent with less guidance from an advisory panel? They don't have it. Marta and company weren't developed by advisory panels and committees and a subcommittee that works for that committee to discuss nothing. We need real goals. We need real change, ladies and gentlemen. We need real change, not this, oh, what did the players tell us? The players don't know what they know. They don't know that they don't know that they don't know. They know nothing. I know something. I see it. We need to change the game completely. We need to change the rules. We need to do something so different that it doesn't manufacture the same product we keep getting day in, day out. Have you ever been to an ECNL event? Have you ever been to a DA event? I have. It's disgusting. Oh, that's harsh, Coach Cameron. Is it? It's not the beautiful game supposed to be played a certain way, and we're going to have these young ladies complaining about equality and freaking soon as they go pro? We want equality. I want you guys to be better. There's a reason, young ladies, the ones that actually love the game, you're watching Liverpool men play, Man City play. There's a reason you're watching Champions League. There's a reason you're watching that versus the WPSL or whatever, the Women's Professional Soccer League. There's a reason. But if there was, say, 10 Martas out there in that league, you would get a lot of people tuning in because it's not about the sex you are. It's about talent. And you can get the talent. You can be creative. Go get it. Remember the movie, A League of Their Own? Tom Hanks. What did they do to get fans in the stands? They did things that were unique, creative, and then the people started coming. That's a real thing. Freaking learn technique. I would pay to watch Marta play, especially 10 years ago. she's talented. It's not about sex. It's about talent. That matters. We don't have enough of it. We need more of it. It's something that we really need. I want to finish with the last quote of this article. Originally, when DA disbanded, on the boys' side, you saw that MLS quick rose up and took the boys under their wing, Smith said. It sort of left the girls with nothing. At a lot of clubs, there was a lot of different issues that arose regarding different leagues and where players were going to play. Speaking of which, okay, MLS jumped for the boys. Where was Megan Rapinoe? Where was Megan? Calling foul. What about our ladies? No, it's not a cool enough fight for her. She has other things to fight. So, I think GA's Rising has developed a league that is totally focused on player development, and they want their league for the players. It goes beyond just a soccer platform. So, what do we learn? We learned nothing. Nothing's going to change. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen, nothing until we have coaches with frickin' of steel, for the ones watching YouTube and my sign language. You have to play the game right. We have to let our kids think for themselves. They have to be able to they have to be rewarded for every individual decision they make and be rewarded for it. It has to be different. Change the point system. Get a point for every pass connected by the team. 1 point for a goal, 1 point for every pass. And you change it from there. 2 points for every pass made in the attacking half. 3 points for every pass made in the 18. Just change it. I'm not saying, just go through what I just said and say, okay, that makes sense. No, change the freaking game. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.